Hello, and welcome to episode 40 of Rivers Arcade Review. My name is Ed. This channel is dedicated to the coin-operated video games of yesteryear. Today I'll be reviewing a game from my past, Track and Field. Track and Field was released in 1983 by Konami and licensed to Century. My first time playing this game was at Georgie Boy's Restaurant in Chicago, Illinois. Track and Field is a sports-themed game based on the games of the Decathlon. This game can be played with 1 to 4 players, up to 2 players playing at one time. You control your athlete with 2 run buttons and a combination jump and throw button, although later in the game's production line there was a trackball used to run, and the 2 run buttons were changed to the jump and throw buttons. Players 1 and 3 use the right side controls, and players 2 and 4 use the left side controls. The object of this game is to partake in Decathlon events in an attempt to complete all 6 events. The 6 events included are the 100-meter dash, the long jump, the Javelin Throw, the 110-meter hurdles, the hammer throw, which replaces the discus, and the high jump. You must achieve a specified qualifying time or distance in order to attempt the next event. The game begins with the entry of your name by each player. After all the names have been registered, the first 2 players will run the 100-meter dash. If there is an odd number of players, the extra spot will be run by the computer. The game will announce the traditional "on your mark, get set," and the starter will fire his pistol to signify the beginning of the race. If you start running before the gun, you will get a flying start penalty and the pre-race will begin again. If you get 3 penalties, your game will end. Once the race begins, you need to hit the run buttons alternately, left, right, and so on. The faster you hit the buttons, the faster you will run. If you are able to beat the qualifying time, you will move on to the second event, but if you have a time slower than the qualifying time, your game will end. You do not have to have the winning or fastest time to move on, you just need to beat the posted qualifying time. If there are 3 or 4 players, there will be a second race for the other 2 players. If you are able to beat one of the 3 best times, you will receive a congratulations screen announcing you are either 3rd, 2nd, or 1st in the world. If you beat one of the 3 records, your name will be entered into the record slot and will remain even after the game is powered down. During multiplayer games, there will be a cut screen that will display the rankings of the previous event. The second event is the long jump. This event is only played 1 player at a time and will take place in the order 1, 2, 3, 4, then back to 1. But if 1 or more of these players hasn't qualified, that person will be skipped. Once you hear the game signal to begin, you need to run using the same method as the previous event, and when you reach the white line, you need to press the jump button. The faster you run, the better momentum of the jump, and the longer you hold the jump button, the larger jump angle. The best jump angle is 45 degrees because it will give you the best height versus distance. Just like before, you need to jump a predetermined distance in order to qualify for the next event. You will get 3 attempts to qualify for the 3rd event. All you need is 1 qualifying jump to move on. You need to avoid stepping over the line or your attempt will be disqualified. The 3rd event is the Javelin Throw. You play this event exactly the same way as the long jump, and you have the same 3 attempts to throw the javelin to qualifying distance. The order is the same as before. 1, 2, 3, 4, then back to 1, and all non-qualifying players will be skipped. The 4th event is the 110-meter hurdles. You run this event just like the first race, except you need to press the jump button to leap over the hurdles. The first hurdle is just past the 10-meter mark, and then every 10 meters thereafter. Just like the first race, you need to beat the qualifying time to advance to the 5th event, although you do not need to be the fastest time. If the game began with 3 or 4 players and 1 or both remain, there will be a second race. For example, if players 2 and 3 have been eliminated, there will be 2 races, player 1 versus the computer and player 4 versus the computer. The 5th event is the hammer throw. In this event, you begin in the safety cage and you tap the run button to start your athlete to spin to gain momentum. You do not need to continue to press the run button to gain speed. As you spin, the hammer will turn red when it is lined up with the opening of the cage. The faster you spin, the further the throw, but the less time you will have lined up with the cage opening. And just like before, the longer you hold the throw button, the greater the throw angle. If you press the throw button at the wrong time, it will be thrown into the cage and that will be scored as a foul. Once again, if one of your throws meets the qualifying distance, you will move on to level 6. Just like previous rounds, the player order is 1, 2, 3, 4, and back to 1. The 6th event is the high jump. This event allows an infinite number of attempts to jump over the bar, but you are only allowed 3 fouls, just like a traditional high jump event. You press the run button to begin running, and just like the hammer throw, you do not need to repeatedly hit the run buttons to increase speed. Once you get to the bar, you press the jump button to jump upward, and once you reach the top of the jump, you need to press the jump and run buttons to clear the bar, then press the jump once again to kick your legs out of the way of the bar. Once all players foul 3 times, the event ends. Once the high jump event is completed, and if you complete the qualifying height for the jump, there will be a congratulations screen in which the top 3 players are on the podium. What happens after this is purely based on the manager's settings. The game could end, or the game will continue back at the 100-meter dash with the harder qualifying. There's another setting that will allow for an extra life if you are unable to qualify for an event. Although I've only seen this one place in the field, and that was at Bob High Lanes in North Shores, Michigan. There are several Easter eggs hidden within this game. The first Easter egg can be achieved on both running events. If both players finish the race with the exact same time, the main character from Tutankhamun will run across from the right to the left and will award you a 1,000 point bonus. The next Easter egg can be achieved on the long jump. This one is very difficult to execute. You need to jump all 3 times identical distances and you will receive a 1,000 point bonus, although I couldn't perform this trick even using cheat codes. The next Easter egg can be executed on the Javelin Throw. When you throw the javelin, you need to hold the throw button instead of releasing it, and if you threw it hard enough, the javelin will go off the top and hit a bird, which will fall and will award you a 1,000 point bonus. Also, if you hold the run button after the throw, you can get a 20-meter longer throw. The last Easter egg happens on the high jump. To execute this Easter egg, you need to knock the bar off 2 attempts in a row, and if you clear the bar on the next attempt, a mole will pop up on the playfield and will award you a 1,000 point bonus. There is one glitch in the game which happens on the javelin throw level. If you throw the javelin more than 100 meters, the game will ignore the far left one, and you will only receive credit for the 2 rightmost digits in the meter display. For example, if you throw for 108 meters, the 1 will be ignored and you will only get credit for the 8 meters, and you will not qualify. I found this game to be fun and challenging and recommend playing this game if you can find it in an arcade setting, since emulators don't do the game justice. I like this game more than Berserk, but not as much as Mooncresta, so I ranked Track and Field 25th overall. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If there are any games you would like me to review, please leave a message in the comments section below or on my homepage. Please remember to hit like, share, and subscribe. And stay tuned for new videos every Wednesday and Sunday.